Born to former slaves, Mary McLeod Bethune was a South Carolina teacher who moved to Florida and founded a school for black girls, which later became Bethune-Cookman College. She was an advisor to President Coolidge on child welfare and to President Franklin Roosevelt on the UN Charter. Bethune also founded the National Council of Negro Women.
She concentrated on educating and uplifting our black youth at a time when such efforts were not fashionable. Blacks were terribly deprived, and it was not always safe to encourage and support black education.
So, I just want to say, on behalf of the National Council of Negro Women Midwest Section, it is an honor and a pleasure to see all of you here this afternoon to honor some fantastic women for what they have done and what they are doing. Can we give them a round of applause? So, just like the good Baptist preacher said, I'm not for you long. So I'm going to say, like you go east, you're welcome once, you're welcome twice, you're welcome, make yourself at home. If you see any of the council women running around, if you need something, just access to your land and accommodate. We also like you to come here. So on that note, welcome everyone.
Senior case manager at San Initiative, and at this moment we're going to have a little moment of prayer. So I'm going to ask you all to bow their heads with me, please. Gracious, eternal, and everlasting Father, we just want to thank you. Thank you for this joyous occasion. Thank you for being able to just come together and convene and be able to honor some wonderful women today, Lord. So we want to thank you for their hard work. Thank you for their dedication. Thank you for their service, because so many times we don't give people the flowers while they can still smell them. So at this time, we just ask you that a festive mood comes amongst us, because this is a celebrate these wonderful women and to keep encouraging them to do the great things that they have been doing. We want to thank those that convened this event, the National Council of Negro Women, for the hard work that they do. And we just want you, Lord, to just come and have your blessings come upon us as we celebrate those who so deserve it. And we pray these things in the matchless and holy name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Well, I've also been given the task of introducing our mistress of ceremony, who pretty much needs no introduction. She is the Deputy District Director for the 7th Congressional District. She is one of the hardest working women I know. She is a friend to many, and if you call her, she is always there. Most importantly, she's my friend. Someone who's like a big sister to me, who works my last nerve. And I tell her all the time, I don't like you, but I love you. She does so much work in our communities. She's just this fearless and tireless worker who's always there when you need her. So I present to you Miss Nicole Harvey.
I almost feel like I should say, praise the Lord, saints. I feel like I'm at church. I feel like it's 7:45 Sunday morning service at JLM, and we about to get our shout on. That's how I feel. Thank you so much, Brother Ed, and I know you don't like me, but I know that you love me, and that's what's most important. So I am Nikki Harvey. As he said, I'm the Deputy Director of the Illinois 7th Congressional District for the office of the great Congressman Danny K. Davis. And I stand before you today to celebrate wonderful women who have made great strides in our city and nationally as being recognized on today. I'm just going to get started. I don't want to prolong the time, but I do have a question. Have you all met everyone at your table? We're going to take 2 seconds, and you're going to turn to the person next to him and say hello and get their name, because I'm going to have a quiz later. So has everyone met the person next to him? Are you sure? Because I have a quiz later with a big prize. So you got to remember who you're sitting next to. Okay. So with that being said, we're just going to get started. A native Chicagoan, an Emmy Award-winning and international vocalist, well known for her soulful and jazzy voice, magnetic stage presence, sizzling concerts, and sold-out productions. One who has sang with or opened for Jeffrey Osborne, India Arie, Al Jarreau, Gerald Albright, George Duke, Kirk Willingham, and even the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, just to name a few. This outstanding woman also founded and serves as the executive director to a great organization called Timeless Gifts Youth Program of Performing Arts. This organization's mission is to inspire, instruct, and provide amazing performances opportunities for young, inspiring artists in the Chicagoland area. She was here with us a little earlier, and she had to leave, but Joan left her daughter here to receive this award on her behalf. If her daughter could come, whose name I don't know. Regine. If Regine could come on behalf of her mom, Kathy, if you could assist me with the awards, that would be great. This is our Vice President, Kathy. Let's give her a hand. Nobody has nothing to say because everybody wants to say something. We're going to stand right here up front.
Okay. My sweetie. Thank you. Right here in the middle. Okay.
The sixth child of 10 children. So at this point, her mother deserves a round of applause. A graduate of Harlem High School, a veteran of the United States Army Defense Artillery Unit who served an assignment in South Korea. This graduate from the Cook County Bureau of Health, Hospital Services Physician's Assistant Program also worked with Homeland Security and the Transportation Security Administration in the early 2000s. Currently employed with the Cook County Health Services for the past 16 years in family medicine, urgent care, and emergency medicine. A wife and a mother of two. Let's celebrate Mrs. Kathy L. Hey, Kathy.
All right now. Right up here. Right up there, right in front of this podium.
Right in front of the podium.
I'm going to give you this.
One who lives her life giving back, an extraordinary educator with over 35 years of experience in the Chicago public school system. All right, that's applause. I can't take kids for 35 minutes. So if she did it for 35, I'm a bow to her for 35 years. An outstanding woman who built a cohesive staffing unit of academic pride in her students and cultivated her parents as well, which is a big task, guys, in this society. It's a huge task. During her 18-year tenure, she successfully achieved many successes under her leadership and her program and her academic excellence. She developed and nurtured Herzl Elementary School to be one of the notable recognized Chicago public schools on the west side of Chicago. In her, applause. In her walk to her next phase in life, she shared her expertise with CPS Office of the Principal Preparedness and Development, where she mentored new principals and founded the Lawndale Mentoring Program, LAMP. LAMP is a program that provides mentoring to children and youth between the ages of 4 and 18 in the North Lawndale community. These programs focus on tutoring, restorative justice, peacemaking circles, and so much more. Let's celebrate Dr. Betty J. Allen Green.
Thank you.
35 years? All right.
Turn this around right quick. Wonderful.
When you think of the true essence and the timeless soul, jazz, and other forms of music, musical icons come to mind with such beautiful velvet voices such as Sam Cooke, Donny Hathaway, Aretha Franklin, Anita Baker, Sarah Vaughan, Luther Vandross, and our next woman of excellence, a woman making history. Rarely does one talent capture the flawlessness, style, grace, and stage presence of this musical icon. One who has sang background vocals for many musical legends, media and entertainment icons such as Oprah Winfrey, Diana Ross, and the late comedian and actor Bernie Mac. The founder of a Better Love Yourself Foundation, which operates in 5 major cities, with the mission to educate and assist our youth with a complete volunteer staff. Now that deserves an applause all by itself. Someone to have such a pure mission in her heart that she could sell her vision to others to volunteer to help her in 5 other states to move our youth along is truly a trailblazer. Coming from a small town in Monroe, Louisiana, which is up the street from Lake Providence, where my mother was born, let's celebrate our very own Southern jewel, Miss Teresa Griffin.
You have impeccable timing, as per usual. Thank you so much. Here you go, Ms. Griffin.
The first African-American woman chair of the executive committee of the 1st District Appellate Court. That's raving reviews. A native Chicagoan, a graduate of Proviso East High School, Hampton University, and the Boston University School of Law. I have read through this bio and did tons of things, but I have to stop and just share with you all. This next young lady brings tears to my eyes because she's my mentor. She's been there with me through everything. Our lives kind of mirror each other. Our parents were great friends. When my father first came to Chicago from Memphis as a young pastor, her dad took my father in and mentored him. And then he mentored other pastors who became great pastors. Who are some of your pastors here today, such as Marvin Wiley and Floyd James, just to name a few, his own cousins, the Miller boys. Her mother taught me how to make something called hoe cakes. If any of you all are old enough, you'll know what those are. Usually people think I'm mean because I'm real matter of fact, but I have a lot of emotion for this next woman. Because when I lost my mom, when my mom made her transition 20 years ago, she was there holding me up. And when my dad made his transition 5 years ago, she was there holding me up. Never did she miss a day to check on me. And when her parents made their transition within a week apart, she was the strongest woman I had ever met. Not only is she a trailblazer, an icon, she is a woman of God, an anointed spirit who, if you ever want to see her outside of the Supreme Court Justice courtroom, you can go right over to Friendship Missionary Baptist Church on a Sunday where she is serving in her church faithfully. This is someone I know who is just the same person each and every day. I take my hat off to Justice Shelvin Marie Hall. Let's give her a great round of applause.
I love you more. Let's get
Right here in front of the podium. Take your time.
You're going to take this.
And she can cook really, really good food.
Okay, I need some hoe cakes. One more time.
We're going to do some housekeeping really quickly with you. I want to give you a few moments to do a few things. On your tables, there are some cards. Those cards, one says National Council of Negro Women, and we're going to ask you guys to just take a minute and go through those and fill them out for us really quickly. And then there's another card on there that's focused just towards the women in the room, and it's the Illinois Black Women of Leadership. It is a group that we are working on that we have actually begun to start. And we'd like for you to fill that out so we can have your information and invite you out to the meeting so you could learn so much more about it. Serving as the acting chief of the Center of Minority Health Services for the Illinois Department of Public Health, she began her public health career at IDPH a number of years ago. Her current position includes administration in various grant programs, and it targets minority and underserved communities in the state of Illinois. In 2007, the fellow of the Mid-American Regional Public Health Leadership Institute, she holds her BA in Visual Arts, her MA in Communications from the University of Illinois in Springfield, and her postgraduate certificate in Online Instruction Design from Capella University. Let's celebrate our very own Miss Veronica Holloway.
Tearing up stuff, I know. It's my job.
This next great woman was a niece of a Chicago police officer who saw the great task in him and decided to take it on herself. She began her career as a beat officer on the South Side, and in that area she grew deeply and very familiar with that area. Her hard work and dedication paid off, and she was promoted to sergeant in 1998. Her work as a sergeant for 16 years led her to great accomplishments, and we can now call her commander. Let's celebrate our very own Gloria Hannah. Commander. Now, some of you in the room may remember her as Lieutenant Hannah from the 15th District, right up here.
Come on over.
Now she's Commander Hannah in the 3rd District on the South Side. A servant leader supported several boards in our community, including NLCCC, Economic Development Subcommittees, OPRF Community Council, OPRF Imaging Task Force, former National Women's Hall of Fame Board of Directors, former women on the board of 2020 Chicago Chapter Steering Committee, and so many more great things that she has done. Having a servant leadership innovation organization, this young woman has the great gift of just being exactly who she is. Let's give a great round of applause for the Executive Director of the North Lawndale Community, is it North Lawndale?
Community Coordinating Council, but community organizing.
Okay.
You just promoted.
Okay, I spoke it into existence. That's what I did. Let's give a great round of applause for Dr. Tanisha D. House.
All right, Dr. House. Amazing.
So, at this time, this wonderful woman holds a BA from the University of Wisconsin in mental retardation. Her MA is from the National Louis University in early childhood psychology, and her PhD is from the University of Indiana in clinical psychology. Her research is primarily dedicated to individual learning differences among children and adults. Currently, she serves as a political consultant for judicial candidates, and she is happily married to our very own Justice Nathan House. Let's give a great round of applause for Dr. Patricia A. House. the hardest working man in Washington, D.C., and in the Illinois 7th Congressional District. Let's give a great round of applause for our very own Congressman Danny K. Davis.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I really didn't expect to see as many people as I see for a lot of different reasons. But I am so delighted to be here and to see all of you. And I'm also delighted because we just ended Women's History Month and the fact that we are acknowledging and recognizing the contributions that so many sheroes in our communities have made. And we don't always have to look for heroes. We can look for sheroes. And without the sheroes, there really wouldn't be any heroes. And so it's just wonderful. One of the pleasures that I've had during my lifetime have been to know a woman named Dorothy Height. And quite frankly, I knew her very well and went to many, many events and activities with her and that she was a part of. And of course, she was one of the few women who had an active role in the civil rights demonstration in March that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spearheaded. But I think she took that experience and worked until her days were done. I've forgotten how old she was before she finally left, but I do remember she loved hats. And every time she went to a different event, she generally had on a different hat. And so some of us got to calling her the Hat Lady. But she was so creative and had so much understanding of what we needed to do. So any organization that she helped to start or was a part of that continues the work that she has done, and I don't know anybody who's carried that work on more than Annetta Wilson, who I always call a protege of Dr. Dorothy Height. So please, everyone, have a wonderful evening. We've just finished a great election. The biggest problem with it is not enough people vote. And I've decided that for the next several months, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm going to encourage people to vote. I don't care what church it's at. I don't care what it is. I mean, I was at church Sunday and the preacher was so profound because he talked about Palm Sunday in preparation for Easter. And he mentioned the fact that Palm Sunday, Jesus came riding through town and people took off their clothing and threw it out in the road. And they just were so glad to see him and they praised him. And the next week, they said, crucify him. And he said it was the same crowd. He said it weren't different. So I'm going to try to keep my eyes open, Camille, and know what crowd I'm with, Bob. So have a good evening.
A graduate of Ward Howe Elementary School, Senn High School, a BA and an MA degree in Business Organizational Department at DePaul University. This next young woman is a native Austin resident, serving as a special events manager with over 20 years of experience in event planning and organizational development. Let's give a great round of applause for this mother, grandmother, and entrepreneur of a successful residential and commercial cleaning business, Pristine Cleaning Services, and the manager of events for the Chicago Park District, Miss Meryl Malone. That's how girls do it when we get together.
And here you go.
And there's your box. A board member of, a board member of several professional organizations statewide, attended the university in Nairobi, Kenya, East Africa, and receiving honors in 1979. Also receiving her bachelor's in political science in Vermont back in 1981 with honors, and also her JD degree in 1985 from the Northern Illinois University College of Law in DeKalb, Illinois. She is the presiding judge in the Child Protection Division of Juvenile Court of the Circuit Court of Cook County. And she looks exactly like us. Let's give a great round of applause to our very own Judge Patricia Martin. So our next award-winning, captivating woman, a product of the Chicago Public Schools and a graduate of Morgan Park High School, she entered the university at age 16 and earned her bachelor's degree in French and education. Later, she earned her MS from Chicago State University in special education and her MBA from Roosevelt University in management. She taught special education in the Chicago Public Schools for 12 years. And in 1992, she received her JD degree from Chicago Kent College of Law. She's been an attorney for over 25 years, and she's also the treasurer of the Women's Bar Association, overseeing a budget of $1.5 million in assets. Let's give a great round of applause and celebrate our very own Miss Mary Alice McCure. You guys didn't even know we had these many jewels right among us in our community, did you? This is lovely to be able to sit and share time with these jewels here at these two tables. They are simply wonderful. Our next ambitious entrepreneur is one everyone should know. She's a creative genius and has successfully brought her vision to clients such as Common, Kanye West, Dwayne Wade, Columbia Records, Atlantic Records, E1 Music, Heineken, and so many more in her life. A young woman right here in our community, resides in Washington Park, where she enjoys spending time with her family and friends. And she also works freelance at her freehand Chicago business. Let's give a great round of applause for Mrs. Juan B. Teague of Juan and One Events. Our next honoree resides in the Austin community, and we are so glad to have her back home. She's married, a mom of 2, and a grandmother of 4. She offers great leadership and management experience for over 30 years in the workforce in human services and education. She has successfully led reform efforts in the state and local government and played key roles in promoting and supporting change, and innovatively both in private and for nonprofit sectors. A public officer since 1985, she has served in administration under 2 governors, Illinois and Georgia, and the mayor of the city of Chicago. One who we love and love working with, and one who has a great vision, our very own director, Beverly B.J. Walker.
She was a friend. Oh, she's going to say it in a minute. Here he is, way over there. Okay.
And most importantly, she is the best friend to children. The best friend to children. Our next honoree, Dr. Walker Young, was not able to be here with us on this evening. You can totally take a peek at her bio. It's here listed in the book. And who will be accepting it on her behalf is one of her colleagues from Cook County Hospital, our very own Kathy Hayes. Our next honoree, who sat with me to tell me how she wanted me to introduce her. One who is a true leader, and she has established the Affordable Budget Coalition. She's still a member there. She helps to serve in ILEAP programs. She has been instrumental in state bills and energy services and acts. There is so much that we can say about her, and we would be here all night just talking about her and her alone. In our office, when I have issues and problems and I need to reach out to someone, I will pick the phone up and give her a call, and she'll say, baby, come right on over here to my office. I'm going to get whoever you need me to get. So, our very own Lillian Drummond, hold on you all, AKA Bulldog Drummond. When she doesn't want us to tell her age. I don't care. But now she told me to tell you. Now, I got the Bulldog part right. But she said you didn't tell him I was 96. She is 96. Years young. 96 years young, still dating. Are you kidding?
Okay, wait, let's try that one more time.
I told you to be good, Miss Drummond.
I am. Okay, I love you all.
So, of course, the National Council of Negro Women thanks you for celebrating with us on this evening. And also, our Chicago Midwest section is just elated that you were able to come out with us. But we would be remiss if we didn't share our vision of the National Council of Negro Women and the Chicago Midwest section membership committee and informational. At this time, our Vice President, Ms. Kathy Hayes, will give you an update and let you know just how you can become a member. And Commissioner Shaw, just to let you know, we accept men too. We have associate. There's associate. Very good. All right. Come on, Kathy.
Thank you. I'll be looking for that card. Mr. Shaw, I sure will be looking for that card. Hi, and thank you all very much for coming this evening. This is what the Council of Negro Women and its many chapters and sections are dedicated to. The brilliance of women, especially during Women's History Month, but 365, we are awesome when we all work together to be strong entities that change and change agents in the community. As you've heard this evening, these magnificent women, and we have honored many, many more, always give back to the community. One told me that you can never outgive a woman. And you can hear from the bios this evening and the work in the community that many of these women have done. You can never outgive these women either. So I know that there are still a few great men and women out here that can come and help us lift up a community. This is a beautiful place right here on the west side of Chicago. And people, if you listen to the news, would think that we were in a war zone. We are in the diamond heart of a city that has nothing but personality and love for each other, because all these people are out here for one reason, for people that they love within this community and that have loved them back. So my challenge is to ask you to be a part of the vision of many of these women, and of course of Miss Annetta Wilson. We continue to wish that every child is safe in every school, everywhere in the United States, the Caribbean, and parts of Africa. That is where many of our sections are. We have many affiliates that we work with, from sororities to fraternities to all kinds of organizations. We are a funnel of an organizer for organizations. So we invite you to bring your talents, your interests, your ideas, your membership to us to make us and keep us as strong as possible. There are many children and grandparents right there on Roosevelt that are appreciative of the love and care that you all have given over the years to keep them safe and out of a system. The fight is still not over. We still have children that are facing grave issues and grave times in this world called America that keeps changing every moment. So we need your support, but most importantly, they need your support. I'm old and grown, I'll be okay. But I need to make sure that there are children that can come here and take part in this beautiful place just like you all have this evening. So if you would be so kind, all of the members that are of the Midwest section, if you would stand up and wave your hands so people know who you are. Some of them had to leave, we know. These ladies are here. To continue to support the dream, we ask, we invite you to do the same thing. Won't you please join us in this dream that we will keep holding the high watch for right here on the west side. Thank you.
And at this time, we're going to decrease and allow our president to increase. At this time, if we can allow our very own Annetta Wilson to come and greet you all and share with you all. Our leader, our fearless leader.
Good evening, everyone. Wow. I was just sitting there, and I was just thinking how powerful we are. Just think about each and every one of you in this room. Just think about how powerful we are. Just take a couple seconds. I know that we have to thank the Almighty God for allowing us to be here. And we are truly blessed with who we are. And so I was just sitting here just thinking that the journey's not over, we just got started. That's what I was just sitting here reflecting on. I also have to say, Keith, we want to thank you for once again coming, and you can stop flashing because you'll break your camera on me. But I also wanted to thank the staff for Sankofa who stayed late and did all of this good work. We're working, DJ. We work during hours, after hours, any hour. But I just wanted to say thank you so much to the staff. And I also want to thank you to the members and to all of us that helped to put on this event. It is not something that you do by yourself. And it's not always something that it was 100 of us that did. It was just a few of us that pulled together to do what we did. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for that. The third vice president, she had to leave, but in her absence, I just want to say she just wanted to thank everyone for coming. That's what she said to tell you before she left, Patrice Ball Reed. Judge Patrice, you know, sometimes I forget all these titles. And I especially want to thank our MC, Nikki Harvey, who along with others that I bug at, 5 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night, but we got the job done. And I hope all of you all really enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll take the time to think about how blessed we are as a community to have this kind of people to represent us in all different faces. Every year I have to fight with the vice president's Kathy. She hasn't hollered at me yet because we have so many ladies that we want to honor. But we have to keep the numbers down, and so Kathy always say, anything over 10, you've gone too far. But when they come in and you know the kind of women that we are giving the awards to, you just can't say no. And so to all of them, I want to say thank you for letting the National Council of Negro Women, the Chicago Midwest section, to honor you. It's our honor to honor you. So I just wanted to say that and thank you, and then fill out your membership.
We'd like to say if State Rep Camille Lilly could stand so everyone could see you here in the room. Also, if the trustee of the Village of Westchester, if Shelby Miller would stand so everyone could see her just as well. To our justices and judges who are in the room who came out today to celebrate with us, if you can just stand quickly, I don't want to miss anybody's name. We have Justice House here in the room. Justice Bertina Lampkin is in the room. Judge Miriam Perkins is here in the room. Judge Miskisa is here in the room as well. We want to say thank you to all of them for coming out. Oh, Judge Amanda Toy, how are you? Hey, we want to say thank you so much for coming out and sharing with us on today. And thank you to each and every one of you. You all are so special. Give yourselves a great round of applause. I'm sorry. So this concludes our session, our award session at this time.
Born to former slaves, Mary McLeod Bethune was a South Carolina teacher who moved to Florida and founded a school for black girls, which later became Bethune-Cookman College. She was an advisor to President Coolidge on child welfare and to President Franklin Roosevelt on the UN Charter. Bethune also founded the National Council of Negro Women.
She concentrated on educating and uplifting our black youth at a time when such efforts were not fashionable. Blacks were terribly deprived, and it was not always safe to encourage and support black education.